And then you had some too, right? Okay.
One idea that I think is why nowadays women have become more masculine and just more independent is because I think more of the history of women, like, doesn't matter in America, because I've never been to any other country, so I can't really
can tell you for a fact that we have a lot of supporters from like all over the first world, Australia, New Zealand, whatever. It's everywhere. Anywhere where that's a first world country that has feminism, they're dealing with the same dating and relationship problems.
Okay, well, I'm
Canada, New Zealand, etc.
I'm only gonna my references right now to America,
right,
just because like that's what I'm educated on.
That's cool.
And I just feel like women have gone through a lot of. Women have gone through a lot of liberations from women's suffrage, and even like with Black women and how far Black women have had to come to have rights and all that shit.
Okay.
So I feel like
merch.
Stop. So basically what I'm trying to say is that women have gone through all these things, and that's because they worked hard to get their own shit, to make their own money, to have their own lives and all that. So if we submit, I think me, because I'm not a submissive type of person, I'm like in certain aspects of how I am, and I think that's just because
go backwards. Is that what you're saying?
Huh?
We'd be going backwards.
Like thank you. Yeah, like we'd be going backwards if we let men take more control, because y'all had a lot of control. Like when we came over,
please,
you know what I mean?
I want you to talk more, man.
Okay,
Go.
You right.
Take it away.
So this is what y'all might not like this, but it's okay. So we're in this like new age feminism. This third wave is what they call it. I think that's the connotation for it. Third wave feminism.
Third wave, radical feminism.
It's funny how, this generation of women, my age and younger, talk so much about it, but it's like my mom
how old are you?
I'm 28. My mom is in her mid 50s. That generation was the first one that was like, or the generation before, actually. Our grandparents was the one where, that was it.
Yeah.
But y'all is like taking credit from all the way back then. And on top of that, it's like, those women that was the real feminist, they look on the feminist movement now like it's garbage.
Okay.
And they're like, you guys are disgracing us.
Yeah.
Because we got the role models, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, and they out here like, oh, you gotta be showing your ass, and you need a BBL, girl. Go out there and fuck them and get some money.
Yeah, but then you said that you want a younger and finer bitch.
What did that? But did that explain any of that stuff though?
I think that Cardi B and the Nicki Minaj, they fine and they have they want.
I would not. I don't want it. I don't want it. I would not want that.
But that's what y'all kind of say.
Nah, and I get what you're saying, and I think that comes from, so in theater we learn this thing called female gaze, and it's basically women are seen through the desires of men. Like in movies, you see it where you have like thick ass cartoon people, like women, all that stuff. So we're just I feel like we're in this time period where women are kind of trying to figure out how to break that, but also feel comfortable with themselves. And
but Nicki Minaj just said it in the
can't you say the same thing about women? Because the guy in those movies they're always major simps. Like they're super simps.
But the women in movies and shows and all of that are mainly for the male. It's not like, oh, you have, for example, Catwoman. Catwoman is not there for Catwoman. Catwoman is there for Batman, for him to have a love interest. All women. And I'm only talking about like what we could all see, without statistics.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Isn't the bigger picture that the romanticism is for women and not men?
But the women that are created in these shows and movies and cartoons and all that are through the desire of men. Incredibles. People always wonder why Miss Incredible's freaking thick as hell.
For sexual, but those for the romanticism, the whole aspect of because you mentioned Catwoman and Batman, they brought in a Catwoman. I think, okay, we can satisfy men's sexual. All right, bet. Hey, she in a latex or a leather costume. She bad as hell. We gonna put Halle Berry there. Boom. And then for the overall, the biggest picture, it's the romanticism. They're trying to spread the idea of chasing this love of, oh, you know what, man, that's my knight in shining armor, or this is the woman of my dreams, and that like they're making people desire this long-lasting relationship that has no flaws.
But I'm talking
that's
about
what they want to do.
I'm talking about the woman. I'm not talking about like the relationship. I'm talking about the women that are created for these.
I feel what you mean.
I think that comes I think that.
But you just
So,
said
that's
about Nicki
popular.
Minaj. She just did an interview where she said that she was hanging
Pressured.
around Lil Wayne, and she was just hanging around the boys, and all they talked about was girls with big butts, and that's what she went and did because that's just what she thought that's what men want.
Hey, she had
So
that
And that's
choice.
what we call the
You just
female
say-
gaze. Is,
Right, but then now if I'm a female and I go and get a big butt, and because I could do what I want, then you say, oh well, that's not what I wanted anyways. What
No,
the hell?
it was what I wanted. It's what got
See,
me at
you
full
just
attention.
said
I
that's not what you
saluted you.
wanted.
I saluted you, but as soon as I'm done saluting, and that might take a few times that night. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I'm done, then it's like, okay, well, hold up. Well, what else is there? Like, okay.
Right, but then that's where y'all fuck up because you said what else is there?
We don't fuck up
We
that
fuck
way.
up.
Y'all
You
fuck up
just
that way
said,
because y'all
what else
go
is
out
there?
there and get
So
your
after-
BBLs and all this
right.
stuff. Let me
So
be
you
sexually
saying
desirable by
after
the man.
that,
You might
what
be
else is
sexable,
there?
but you not finna be
See,
wifeable.
But then what else is there
the
is
problem.
our independence and our smarts and our intelligence.
problem.
And then
You
you
ain't
say,
smart
we
if
don't
you
want
choose
that
the wrong
either.
I can't give y'all. Well,
Here's the problem,
That's the
right?
thing.
Should I do one mic at a time, guys, so everyone can hear each other? MJ, did you get it all off? Pause.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean it that way. I want to make sure. Hold on. I want to make sure you get your piece in, and then
You got kids?
and then Diamond can go after.
Hey,
That was Chris.
You guys have fun back there.
Yeah.
At all?
Pause. Fuck no, baby.
Yeah. Okay, and
Yeah.
then
So
good.
Fresh.
Okay,
So
Fresh. Go ahead
I
and
was
then
gonna say,
Diamond, you after. Go ahead.
here's the problem, right? I get it. You guys are hearing men want, bigger booties, bigger tits, maybe curvy body. But I think the problem here is that like women don't really know what men really want. Yes, appearance-wise, they do want to have a certain type of body look, 100%. But dig deeper, what do men really want? And Myron said it multiple times on the podcast before. He says submission,
Mm-hmm.
peace,
Mm-hmm.
and also a helpmate that helps him with the family, maybe the business, and adds value. And as a result, yes, like MJ said, women smash a couple times that night and salute. And then what's next? And the problem is that like the one next part is what you don't know. So we're just saying as guys, look, we want a girl that has attractive features,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, the core thing is once again peace, submission, and a helpmate that adds value.
All right,
Yes,
so
Daddy.
there's a couple things I'm going to address here because I was so number one, you mentioned feminism, right? And then MJ kind of addressed it. So
Who, me?
yeah, because you had talked about women fought really hard for these rights, etc. Women's suffrage, right?
I mean, I'm just saying like the growth of women
Yeah.
and their rights to our
And they don't
life,
want to let it go.
Not that they don't
Yeah.
don't want to risk
They don't want to risk losing
being,
that.
yeah,
And I agree with you
to an
1,000%.
extent, you feel me?
Here's the thing, though. I agree 1,000% that women fought really hard for equality and suffrage and all this stuff. But here's what's going to happen: the women actually lose by doing that, and I'll tell you why. Society does not run when women. Society does not run well with female leaders. We don't have any data of a matriarchy that stood the test of time.
But look at what males have done.
They've created a great world that you live in, and we all benefit
Society doesn't
Not
give
no
a fuck
damn
about women
great-
leaders.
from. No, it's not that.
I mean-
it's just that women are not capable of leading. They're not capable
Yeah.
because women look at the world completely different. Before this show even started, and I won't get into too much detail, but a bunch of the ladies had issues with Russia invading Ukraine, and they didn't know the real reasons. Their feelings. They bombed an apartment
I'm a bunch of
building.
ladies.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It was between and this is the thing. Like again, this is why this is so important. This is the difference between how men think and how women think. I overhear you guys talking about Russia and Ukraine, right? And you're like, this is fucked up. People died. Like they're civilians. Bombed the building. Blah blah blah. But you don't know all the things that occurred prior
That led
as
up
to
to that.
why Russia invaded. And when I asked you guys, you didn't really know. You were more concerned with innocent people dying, which I'm not saying that's acceptable. But what I am saying is that this is the difficulty of being a leader of a country. And this is why a lot of women are not fit to lead, because they're not going to be able to make difficult decisions like this, right? For the betterment of a country, because I don't want to kill and hurt people. Fuck. And a lot of women operate like that, and that's fine. But this is why men have led since the beginning of time. We're ruled by our ration and logic, not our feelings.
Yeah, but men
Okay.
has also started
So-
like things like slavery and all that and Holocaust.
I understand
and
that.
stuff, you
I
know?
understand that.
So-
I'm not saying that men haven't done atrocities since the beginning of civilization.
Mhm.
But what I am saying is that they've also created the world that me and you benefit from. The fact that we're looking at Sony cameras right now, we're live on air with 9,200 people in here. These are all modern technologies created by men. So there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. So we know what a male-led society leads to, which is what we're enjoying the fruits of now. But we don't know what a female-led society is going to be. And I don't want to know because there's no matriarchy that stood the test of time. So what I'm going to say is this. Going back to your thing with feminism. Women have the leverage now and they're not going to let go. But the reason why they're going to lose is because feminism has effectively, it's really done is it's put the top 5% of guys with the most negotiating power. Because now that women make all their money and they become more successful, guess what happens? Doors close. Average men that would have been able to get married before are no longer suitable candidates. If you leave a woman to her own devices, what's she going to do? She's going to pick the best guy. If she wants to get the best guy, she makes $200,000 a year. Now she needs a guy that makes at least 26% more. She's going to want a guy that makes $250,000 to $300,000. Well, guess what? There's not many of those men to go around that are single and attractive, tall enough, and all these other attractive traits that women want. So what do? I ain't settling. Cool. You have a cat, you drink your wine, and you be mad and say, fuck all men, and I'm niggas ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. And that's why so many women are single now is because, quite frankly, there's not enough successful men to go around because women make their own money. So what feminism has done, it's effectively destroyed the family. It's hurt women's ability to, find a guy because now their standards are up. And that's fine. But my thing is this, there's going to be good and bad that comes with feminism. It's just that women don't realize that it actually hurts them in the long term. So that's what with feminism. Women are they're not gonna concede an inch. They fought really hard for it. Ain't nothing changing. And we talked about this earlier on the first podcast that it's only gonna get worse from here. Less and less women are gonna be able to find relationships.
Yep.
And then the next thing I was gonna say is that's our thing. We're talking about movies and female heroes, right?
Oh through the female
Can
gaze,
I add
though.
to that?
Yeah, I'll just say this real quick. No one cares about female heroes because, and the reason why, I got to answer for this.
I wasn't talking about heroes. I'm talking about female characters in general.
Yes, and I'm gonna explain why. So you mentioned like Catwoman and Batman. The reason why no one gives a fuck about Catwoman or Poison Ivy or any of these other female characters is because people watch movies, especially like action movies, etc., because they want to enjoy the masculine experience. They want to see the man get his ass whooped in the beginning, like Karate Kid, right? Gets his ass whooped, trains with Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, see that journey, they become better, he beats him up. That is the masculine burner performance displayed in the movie, the hero's journey, as they would say. Shout out to Roland Tomas, we had a deep conversation on this too. Yeah. That's what people want to see. Women, men, everyone along the line, we don't give a fuck about a woman's experience because it's not entertaining. Ladies live life on easy mode. I know that sounds horrible, but that's the truth. Yeah. Now, that's also the same reason why people go to watch the NBA and not the WNBA. Human beings don't want mediocrity. They want the best of the best, and it just so happens men are equipped to give the best of the best because they're physically superior to you guys. And this is all biological fact. I ain't talking shit. This is true.
That's facts, man.
So no one gives a fuck about a female Terminator.
I'm not trying to watch
or female James Bond.
Girls smoke layups.
But those views would affect how females want to go about doing things. If they already know, no one's even gonna give a fuck about what they see on TV. I'm talking about what you see.
Let's have fun with this.
You represent.
You do realize that women are 80% of the consumer base, right?
Well, now I know, but
no, they are. That's a fact. Women are 80% of the consumer base.
Oh yeah.
So, who's responsible for the success of the NBA and these movies that have action characters in them? Yes, of course, men are too, but women are a significant contributor. When's the last time any of you guys been to a WNBA game?
Misogyny.
Exactly. Well, when's the last time? When's the last time one of you ladies went to a male professional sporting event?
I went.
Exactly.
I went.
Exactly. So y'all don't even support each other. So what you expect me to watch that trash? No.
But, okay, so you're talking about basketball, but what about like tennis? What? I think more people.
Even the best tennis player, Serena Williams.
Yeah.
She lost to like the 80th ranked dude when he was hungover. Like if that doesn't show that women are inferior from a physical standpoint,
no, but
I don't
not
know
physical.
what does.
I'm just saying, like, okay, so for basketball, people like to see men play basketball, but we like women to play women's sports, volleyball.
I've actually
not really. I mean, here's the thing. I'm simply using that as just a metric to let you guys know that human beings, when left to their own devices, want the best entertainment, and unfortunately, men display the best entertainment when it comes to sports, when it comes to movies, when it comes to action thrillers, whatever, because it's people want to see the best of the best. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see a woman's journey because no one really cares about a woman's journey, bro. Like when it comes to action movies and stuff.
Okay, not action, but what about like
because she was mentioning hero movies,
love movies?
Right.
Other women are going to be.
But that's more feminine. So cool. That makes sense.
I think my point kind of got confused. My point isn't really about the superhero or whatever. I'm talking about like female characters that are portrayed in such things. They're looked through the female gaze, which is the perspective of women
What we
Is
think a
women being-
man would
yeah.
want from a woman. Is that what you're saying? Physically?
like desire, like we're seeing through the desires of men. So characters that we see, that women see on TV shows, whatever the fuck it is, we see women, yes, whatever we might, oh yeah, Catwoman, she's tight, she's cute, whatever, but it's not really even about that. It's about these characters weren't created for women.
Okay.
They were created for men, and women like it as a byproduct because we want to look like that, we want to feel like that, but all of those things that these characters or whatever the fuck are portrayed as is to be desired by men.
But,
And it can be complicated.
Sexual, you know, sexual could be a part of it, but you know, just like in general, like in The Incredibles, I use for example, just because that hourglass figures, a lot of Disney,
Super
Cartoon
thick.
Network, all those female characters, why they don't need to be like that, but they're like that. Why? Because they're created for the for men to.
I would argue.
But why are you saying? My bad.
No, Andrew, go please.
Why are you like? Are you using that as an excuse? Or,
No,
like,
I'm
why are you
using that as a reason to what you had said earlier. I honestly forgot at this point, but it wasn't to like debunk whatever you were saying earlier. It was to just like back up like why.
It was from what Diamond said.
About
women.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
And I'll answer Diamond's thing as far as like female chick getting BBLs and stuff too. I took notes on that as well.
I want to comment.
So your thing with you, so you're talking about body acceptance and rigidness. So here's the thing, because you're saying, oh, she's viewed by the male lens, so they make her look a certain way so that she can appeal to the audience.
I'm talking about the female gaze, like itself, like that's an actual thing.
All right, fantastic. But let's be honest here. If we want to talk about that, there's no male body fat acceptance. Every time a superhero is casted, he's got to be muscular and look good, right? There's no, hey, love your curves, nigga. You look great, King. Like, no, none of that shit. Like, if we want to talk about body rigidness, like men are held to a way higher standard than women. We got Lizzo's fat ass walking around eating cheeseburgers saying I'm sexy, and people saying, yes, bitch.
Mr. Incredible have to. Mr. Incredible got a fine ass bitch. Even when you see these movies, you see movies with ugly ass male characters.
No, but
they
Mr. Incredible had
his status, though. That's because he was the strongest
he had to
hero, right?
work out for him to do again the hero thing.
All I'm saying is that there's far more
Grown-ups.
acceptance. There's far more. There's a higher variance of acceptance of female lack of aesthetics than there is for men. Like a woman can be fat and ain't nobody gonna tell her she's fat. It's actually taboo to do that in society, to tell them a biological truth that you're fat as fuck.
Yeah.
It's not body shaming. It's body truthing is what I say. But but men don't get these same benefits from society of being, oh, I'll just look to the side even though you're a fat piece of shit. Men are held to an even higher standard when it comes to looking good for Hollywood. Like if he's casted for a hero role, he's got to be in shape, damn near taking steroids. But women, they got to look good too. But women get away with not looking good on TV, and it's applauded and appreciated in here in the West. So I would say men have an even more rigid standard when it comes to movies, if we're going to use that argument. And then back to you real quick about the BBL and everything like that. So I think one of the biggest things I say all the time, right? A couple mistakes that one make. I think this is another big one. They conflate sexual attraction for relationship attraction. Just because you get a BBL and you're sexy as fuck does not necessarily mean a man's going to commit to you. So you can go ahead and make yourself look better, but what you're doing is you're getting more into the sexual attraction, and what you're doing, you're kind of, hate to say this, you're objectifying yourself to a degree. So the sexier look, the negative that comes with that is, are men going to want to take you seriously?